You really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram, because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the...
In the explosive Season 2 of 50 Cent's documentary, shocking footage of Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Diddy has just leaked, turning the spotlight onto the biggest names in the game. While some forces try to slow progress and hold others back, 50 moves with laser focus driven, relentless, and unstoppable, turning every challenge into fuel, lifting everyone around him higher as he climbs, showing that true power isn't about blocking others' success, but about building it.
Trophies. I got the checks. I didn't get the trophies. Like, Jay got all trophies, man. That's because he signed that contract.
What contract?
One with Beyonce. If you don't sign, you don't give him a trophy, she ain't coming. Oh,
Beyonce done ran down on you once, Fifth. Come on.
She did worse. She jumped off a thing, off the ledge. I was like, I didn't really know what to do. That's the Jay. He says the Jay in his face. He'll look at you and go, nah, that happened.
So Beyonce jumped down on you.
She jumped down. Oh, she was like on a windowsill.
Right.
It was in Vegas. She said, come on, I'm talking to her. She jumped down. She was like, and I'm like, wait, what is she doing? That stuff, that's me and Jay-Z stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with you, girl. Don't come on.
So Ho wasn't there?
I'm talking to Jay.
Talking to Jay.
As soon as I talked to Jay, she jumped down, came over. I said, oh, look at this.
They about to jump you.
You lucky Solange wasn't there.
Yeah, you lucky Solange wasn't there.
Solange was there. I would have had the reboot. Huh? What?
So what did B say, or she was just staring at you?
Nah, she came like she was ready. Like ready? I thought something was gonna happen. And I'm like, yo, whoa. She's throwing me off now. Because I don't know exactly how to respond to this. You are still Beyonce. Uh-oh. I'm seeing all this stuff going, she going, what is this Jay? I'm like, wait, what happened? I look at Jay, he goes.
As 50 Cent gears up for the explosive next chapter of his documentary, the industry trembles under the weight of shifting power and hidden truths finally coming to light. Once untouchable figures are facing scrutiny, alliances are being tested, and loyalties are under the microscope. Amid the chaos, Beyoncé stands at a crossroads, poised to take control, make bold moves, and redefine her influence while the world watches closely. With pressure mounting and the spotlight unrelenting, the question isn't just what happens next, but who will rise, adapt, and dominate in this unprecedented moment of reckoning.
Coming out confirming that he does have more dirt on Diddy that he didn't even get to put in the 4 episodes on the Netflix Diddy documentary. And since it's 50 Cent, it's so hard telling what in the world he all has, but he said this in reference to the video footage that he got of the man recording Diddy before Diddy went to jail. And on top of all of this, he said more people came forward to him with allegations that didn't even make it into this Netflix Diddy documentary. And he alluded that he is about to drop this all on YouTube. He sat down to explain some of this on the Sherry show yesterday, and she said, it shocked a lot of people to see this personal footage of Diddy. I know 50, the way you run. This cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that has not been shown? He said, yeah, well, there's some stuff that couldn't make it in because there was only 4 episodes in the Netflix Diddy documentary. And then Sherry asked 50 Cent, does this mean that there's going to be a part 2 of the Netflix Diddy documentary? And he said that he's just going to put it on YouTube. This was not the only time in this interview that this man said this. Like, he is sure on YouTube for whatever reason, and he was even laughing about it. And in my opinion, I feel like why he wants to put this on YouTube is because Netflix probably wouldn't let him put in certain things because of liability. I think this is one of the main reasons why some of the things weren't talked about in the Diddy documentary. But like I said, said also he is cut down to a certain amount of time. Netflix gave him 4 episodes, so he has to put everything in those 4 episodes. And she asked him, out of all of the people that were coming forward, have there been any new tips that you have gotten since it's been released? He said, well, yeah, everyone starts to feel a little more comfortable when they see other people telling their truth about it.
Jay-Z may have anticipated that the spotlight would eventually reach him, but few were ready for the magnitude of revelations teased in 50 Cent's latest documentary series. Its release sent shockwaves through the industry, hinting at a vast trove of material and signaling that more projects are already in motion. Behind the scenes, 50 Cent has teased an archive of unprecedented scale, stirring speculation, tension, and serious discussions among hip-hop's most influential players. Whether all of it will ever surface is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the era of hidden backroom dealings is over, and the industry is bracing for the fallout of what comes next.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the, you know, the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some haters. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what, some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think, 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What was that? 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole,
of course, but 50 was always competition. Then remember, Jay said, "Yo, 50's coming." He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro. Yeah. Nobody has had the effect that we had.
The rivalry between 50 Cent and Jay-Z has long defined the industry's storylines, each embodying a starkly different vision of power and leadership. While resistance and setbacks tested him, 50 repeatedly reinvented himself stronger, sharper, and more strategic while the tension simmered in the background. Today, the spotlight has shifted from personal conflict to legacy and influence, highlighting a fundamental divide. One path is built on control and exclusivity, the other on growth, resilience, and elevating those around you. In the end, true strength isn't about who dominates, it's about how many rise with you.
When Piers Morgan said it, they're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this? About
Beyonce
what's going on?
is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many people does he have to be aware of before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me. I'm trying to move beyond Diddy. I'm love now.
What kind of love? Baby oil love? Baby love? Explicit love, hey!
For years, whispers have swirled about elite circles seeing more than the public ever knows, yet the real story lies in the silence that surrounds power. Tales of private meetings, blurred lines, and quiet observation have raised urgent questions about influence and accountability at the highest levels. Some chose discretion over action, driven by loyalty, caution, or self-preservation, while controversies unfolded beyond the public eye. Now, as scrutiny intensifies, the conversation is moving past rumors, focusing instead on the delicate balance between influence, silence, and responsibility when fame shields the truth and tests character.
I know people in the industry, been around for a long time, was there when he first started dating Beyonce at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. I look back and see how old Jay-Z was. I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67. Something like that, 67 right there? 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they said she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's. And Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6-7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know.
What grips observers most is the bigger picture of power, influence, and how emerging talent is shaped within an industry where lines are often blurred. Persistent rumors and secondhand stories have sparked debates about control, imbalance, and environments that normalize questionable behavior over time. When success comes early and mentorship comes from the most powerful figures, perspectives are shaped in ways that can be hard to unravel later. As these conversations resurface, attention is shifting from individuals to the system itself, one that too often elevates fame and protection over accountability, leaving a lasting imprint on how influence is learned, wielded, and repeated.
Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows.
The gravity of the situation becomes clear when looking at how young artists were introduced into worlds dominated by immense influence and unchecked authority, where ambition often overshadowed protection. Prominent figures surface in these discussions not as targets, but as symbols of a system that repeatedly failed to safeguard emerging talent. As scrutiny grows, unease spreads among industry elites not over rumors, but because transparency could finally bring countless untold stories to light. When that moment comes, it won't be about assigning blame to individuals, but about confronting a culture that allowed silence, imbalance, and unchecked control to persist for far too long.
Is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was some snakes.
Both men demonstrated a mastery of power, influence, and leverage long before the world took notice, but their approaches diverged sharply. One thrived in the spotlight, visible, bold, and constantly in motion, while the other operated with quiet precision, navigating boardrooms, private meetings, and carefully cultivated networks. By staying away from spectacle and close to the levers of institutional power, he carved out spaces where control was subtle, protection was calculated, and influence could be wielded without ever attracting unwanted attention, even when the landscape shifted unexpectedly.
Because I know you heard the statement that, Jay Lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of...
Gene highlighted that this approach is why Jay-Z rarely appears in vulnerable or high-risk situations. His moves are always measured and deliberate. While one counterpart grew his empire through constant visibility, social presence, and being everywhere at once, Jay-Z followed the opposite path, cultivating influence through distance, selective access, and perfectly timed decisions. One strategy thrived on exposure and connection, the other on restraint and precision, demonstrating that power can be built just as effectively through quiet control and calculated separation as it can through presence and reach.
So come with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like
that's right. To us,
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brush. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Come on, bro. That's Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that. Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He got them shits. He started drinking. His pictures went like things the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades, because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh wow.
If there was a single misstep in Jay-Z's otherwise precise ascent, it was aligning too closely with the wrong circle, an association now drawing renewed scrutiny. Connections that once appeared strategic are being reevaluated as public attention sharpens and old alliances are cast in a new, unforgiving light. What was once considered mutual gain is now measured against long-term consequences, proving that even the most meticulously built empires can be tested by choices made years earlier when circumstances shift and accountability demands answers.
Diddy really screwed over Mark Agnifilo. I gotta say, this is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo, literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo, his defense lawyer, who had a brilliant strategy. And Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. Now, it is true that the client holds that privilege, the lawyer doesn't, but Mark's clear expectation was that this was a private conversation. These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and tried to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on.
Placing trust in the wrong ally has proven to be the most costly misstep for those involved, as relationships once grounded in mutual benefit now crumble under pressure. What was seen as loyalty has turned into liability, with fallout reaching even the professional circles meant to provide stability and protection. As scrutiny intensifies, one pattern becomes unmistakable: self-preservation takes priority, regardless of who bears the consequences. In moments like this, alliances fracture, reputations are tested, and the real cost of misplaced trust is impossible to ignore.
Yo, Puff, take this out doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right, whether it's NBAs, whether it's whatever, when these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity, so they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity.
I'm like, it's just odd to see him in that, getting looked at in that way by white people, like Jay does, yeah, like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, they turned the world real, like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. This is the first time he's not getting a pass with white media. Like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him, but like,
Drink champs can't get him out of this one, and neither can Charlemagne, because those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So he got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now, because they on his head. But the question is why? Like, why now? Because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. She's not going to win. Let's get a deposition or something. So I don't know why they on his head so much, pause. But I never seen him, under this, I never seen him in this position to have to explain himself. Pause.
How you feel about the statement he came out with?
I mean, I didn't hear him say anything. I heard a piece of, like I said, I'm doing an interview, so I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him. If he is innocent, he needs to let people ask him questions, and he needs to be able to say his side of the story, as opposed to letting that lawyer talk. Because that lawyer, I don't trust that lawyer because I went to...
Reports indicate that attempts are underway to block an upcoming documentary, raising questions about how certain materials were obtained and whether they should ever see the light of day. In response, sources from the other side insist all content was secured through legitimate channels, part of a long-planned project halted by internal disputes. What began as a clash over ownership and compensation ultimately invited outside involvement, turning unused material into a potent narrative force. As these behind-the-scenes tensions resurface, the situation underscores how unresolved business conflicts and fractured partnerships can unexpectedly shift control over stories once meant to remain private.
Came across in that secret little Diddy footage that he paid from the videographer that Diddy didn't pay. They are saying 50 has footage that will not only add more time to Diddy's sentence, but Diddy might not ever come out. Listen up, check this out. Now y'all know that footage that where Diddy is behind the scenes talking to his lawyer and all of this stuff, and people are like, damn, what was Diddy recording it? Well, Diddy was recording it because he thought he was about to beat the case. So he wanted to do a Netflix documentary. Didn't pay the guy, and then 50 got all 140 hours of footage of secret Diddy tactics. Well, there's a guy named Neil who was mentioned in the court, works right up under Diddy, was organizing everything. Allegedly, they are saying that he is on video, film, tampering with witnesses, giving out addresses, offering money, bribing, we'll pay for your lawyers, all kind of shit that could be counted as witness tampering, obstruction of justice. And 50, of all people, has his hands on this footage. And I'm hearing that this could implicate Diddy's lawyers in some bullshit. They could be charged. This is getting wild. And I'm hearing that this 50 Cent documentary is just the tip of the iceberg, and I like it.
What's crazy is this man in this video footage of 50 Cent's post starts talking about a specific name, a man named Neil. And this man goes on talking about how he heard that 50 Cent has this extra footage, but it's footage that could possibly lead to Diddy getting more charges, like witness tampering, obstruction of justice, and more. And what's crazy about the name Neil that he brings up in this is the fact that the other day, Diddy's former chef Jordan, who is somebody that was a witness during this trial, who was about to testify against Diddy before the prosecution took back some of their witnesses who were testifying, literally claimed that Neil Dominique, a former assistant of Diddy, is the one that told Diddy that she was subpoenaed to the grand jury at the very start of all of this. She wrote this whole big post to Neil Dominique and tagged him in it and said, I just want to put this out there because I've been debating how I wanted to handle this situation. Now, I don't know you from a can of paint, but I'm really wondering why you decided to tell Sean Combs that I was contacted by the feds. I saw that you wrote him a good character letter too. Come to find out, you were actually providing Puff with information on a whole bunch of people throughout the case. So my thing is, why were you so comfortable putting me in danger? Why were you so comfortable putting other people in danger? You provided addresses to him. Were you like a double agent working for the feds and Puff? This is actually crazy crazy because she alleged that Neil Dominique was approached by the feds as well in this investigation into Diddy.
Speculation is mounting that the documentary's release could be a turning point, triggering significant personal and professional shifts behind the scenes. For years, Beyoncé has meticulously safeguarded her reputation, rebuilding trust and cultivating a commanding, resilient brand through challenges that might have toppled others. She has consistently prioritized stability and strategy over reaction, yet sources suggest this moment carries a new weight, one that could demand a decisive reset, not from scandal, but from a need to protect her legacy, autonomy, and long-term vision.